Yo, what's good, YouTube? Back with another video. Today, we are going to be reacting to my boy Jimmy High Roller. 3-point shots have ruined basketball. This should be interesting because I don't believe 3-point shots have ruined basketball at all. But Steph Curry, you have ruined basketball, sir. I hate you. That's why I got Celtics in 6. But I just want to say, before we get into the video, appreciate everybody that's been subbing up, bro. I love y'all so much. Support has been unreal, man. I'm not even going to sit here and cap. The support has been crazy. But keep hitting that sub button. We gonna keep running this shit up. Let's get into the video, man. Derek White. White. Horford. Smart. Smart. Bro, I got Celtics in 6 for real, bro. If you don't got Celtics in 6, bro, I feel bad for you because the Warriors are not winning, bro. They're not winning a game.
Might be over with that bucket.
Question: are 3-point shots worth too many points? Now I know that sounds a bit odd to even suggest. I mean, it's right there in the name.
3-point shots too many points?
But what happens when too many players get too good at a shot that is worth too much?
You get better, bro.
Insurmountable runs that determine the outcome of games before they really ever even get started, and offenses with no real identity and only one goal in mind. Find the open three-pointer.
But that is their identity.
That was created to
Wouldn't that be their identity?
Bring balance to a lopsided game has now become the most imbalanced mechanism of the game.
He just walked off while he shot it. That's crazy.
Is the three-pointer really worth too many points?
Oh my God! Touch Earth, nigga.
Today's video is brought to you by SeatGeek.
Yo, you know, on this channel, unless I'm getting sponsored, we do not do the sponsorships. Appreciate you. Jimmy High Roller,
today.
You know, clap it up for his sponsorship, but I'm not sponsored. On
January 5th, 1892, Dr. James Naismith published the original 13 rules of basketball.
Shout out to James
Within
Naismith,
these 13 rules was what
He
Dr.
the
Naismith believed to be a perfectly well-balanced game. Fast forward 130 years, and nearly every single one of these rules is no longer applicable. The only one that still stands today is rule number 1. The ball may be thrown in any direction with one or both hands. So, a pass.
That was a rule?
Rule number 3 has long been eradicated from the game. A player cannot run with the ball. The player must throw it from the spot in which he catches it. Allowance to be made for a man who catches the ball while running at a good speed if he...
Wait, the player must throw it from the spot on which he catches it. Allowance to be made for a man who catches the ball when running at a good speed if he tries to stop. So, football.
Tries to stop.
What? So you couldn't dribble back in the day?
We don't do that anymore.
This is that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's all I like to see, man.
It's clear that the game that was originally introduced
to
the world as basketball has been completely revolutionized, reformed, and transformed into the game we know and love today. And the biggest change the game has seen in its 130-year existence is the three-point shot. Added to the NBA in 1979, the three-point line brought unprecedented balance to the game. Smaller or less athletic players that were once pretty much decorative pieces on offenses centered around the big men and athletic wings now had a new powerful weapon in their arsenal. You no longer had to be a giant or a freak of an athlete to make a real impact on the game. For the first time in nearly a century.
But shouldn't that be more of a case towards why the three-point shot should stay? Because if the three-point shot leaves again, bro, the bigger it's already like if you're a bigger player, you're automatically better at basketball. I mean, you have a higher advantage. I would say you're not automatically better, but you have a better advantage at being good if you're taller. But the three-point shot is like. Niggas like Steph Curry out there, the best players in the league now. You know what I'm saying? Like
shots that were taken from more than 15 feet out were worth taking. All thanks to a new shot that balanced the scales of basketball in a way the world had never seen before. The three-point line was and still is undoubtedly the greatest addition to the game in the history of basketball. Or maybe it wasn't. I've never put too much thought into the idea of the three-point shot being far
niggas
too
nowadays,
valuable, even to the extent of possibly being a broken mechanic of the game. I mean, it seems to be balanced. But the other day I heard something that really warped my perspective on the three-point shot and just how broken it may be.
As I'm watching the game, I'm going, Phoenix is so much better than them tonight. But this was the argument for maybe actually an argument against three-pointers.
Fuck
The
the
value,
Suns.
the absurd value they have in relationship to the rest of the ways you can score. The three-pointer is worth way too much. It just is. Every time it felt like Dallas was about to get blown out, they found a way to survive with three-pointers enough. I thought it was a...
Bro, just because you're a better team doesn't mean you're always gonna win, bro. That's the game of basketball. The better team doesn't win every game. The better team is gonna win the series. So obviously the Mavs won the series not because they were hitting a whole bunch of threes. They were playing defense too. This is why people that don't play basketball shouldn't make decisions around the game of basketball. In my opinion, if you don't play the game, you shouldn't be making decisions on changing the three-point shot or stupid shit like that. That's just how I see it.
Very good argument for, is the three-pointer actually stupid? Because I felt like the separation between the two teams was
What
so
we gonna do?
obvious
Have the
watching
three-point
it.
shot be 2
But
points?
hey, we have this other thing that we can do.
They made the
We're
fucking
just gonna
line
keep
for a
shooting
reason.
threes the entire time. And again, this is not breaking news. This is what the game is.
Who is this
But
guy, bro?
I couldn't help but have those moments and watching that game going, this is where the three-pointer argument, like, I almost don't like it because this is not a true definition of which team is better than the other one because they're surviving.
It's a crazy proposition.
I don't like him.
But after hearing Ryan say this, I couldn't help but to ask myself,
I don't like him.
are three-pointers far too valuable? Clearly, if you watch these games, NBA teams feel this way. 76ers president Daryl Morey believes three-pointers provide such an unfair advantage that they shouldn't even be worth 3 points.
2.5?
But instead, only be worth 2.5 points.
Bro, how would y'all feel if they, all my hoopers out there, bro, how would y'all feel if they made three-pointers 2.5 points, bro? I wouldn't even want to play basketball no more. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not even
To
gonna lie to
him,
you.
it's simple math. The three-point shot is by far the most efficient shot in basketball. For the
That shit
simple
kinda
fact
ass.
that if you can hit just 33% of your three-pointers,
Okay,
you're producing the same amount of points as if you hit 50% of your two-pointers. That one...
But that looks crazy, but when you think about it, when you break the shit down, it's a three-pointer, so it's farther away. So when you make it, it should have more significance. You hitting a fucking layup inside the paint, nigga, you should make that every time. You know what I'm saying? Like this doesn't really make any sense to me. Of course, if you make a lower percentage of your three-point shots, as it says right there on the screen, it's gonna be equal to making a whole bunch of twos because 3 is greater than 2.
One extra
Come
point
on, man.
that a
What are
player
we
earns
doing
from
here?
making a three gives them far more room for error than any other shot on the court.
What are we doing?
And for reasons I'll never understand, it took the NBA 35 years to figure this out. When asked about three-pointers in a 2021 interview, Morey said, "The bottom line is, it is worth too much. It skews the game.
Daryl
It makes
Morey.
it so there's really only one path to being a good team. You have to be utilizing that at a high level."
Bro, are we really gonna listen to the man that traded Ben Simmons for James Harden? You traded for James Harden and you traded for James Harden and his boyfriend Lil Baby, and you sold my boy Joel, bro. Come on.
Others
man.
have
We're not
suggested
listening
that
to
the
them, bro.
three-pointer is such a broken mechanism of the game that there should be a limit to how many a team can shoot in a game.
A limit?
An absolutely outrageous take, but one that'll really get you thinking.
They gonna start
There's
giving
gotta be
Texas
some
for
logic
shooting
behind why
23s?
some people truly think the three-pointer is far too valuable. Now, if Daryl Morey and others are correct, then it wouldn't be the
They're
first
not.
time in sports that one particular aspect of the game got so lopsided that a league had to step in and make an amendment. On July 20th, 1984, the sport of track and field
Fuck is
was
this?
forced to change an event that has been around for hundreds of years.
What is this,
All
this
because of this guy, track and field legend Yue Hong,
Yue.
who perfected the art
Ooh.
of javelin throwing so well,
Yue John.
he literally broke the event.
Here's a record that may never be broken. Yue Hone of East Germany
Yue
shatters
John.
American Tom Petronov's world record by over 16 feet.
16
343
feet?
feet, 10 inches. Watch where it lands, just inside the stadium.
Oh shit!
After this,
Oh, you gonna
the
kill
weight of
somebody?
the javelin will most
Oh, I thought
assuredly
they
be
was. I
increased.
thought that was
The
about to hit them
stadium are
niggas,
not
bro.
big enough to hold the javelin anymore.
Yo,
You
this is
see where
cool.
that
This quality's
javelin
ass.
landed? Now, do you see where the landing zone ends? The man threw his javelin so far that it nearly went out of bounds. If this throw was any further, it could have killed a man.
He
And
almost
wasn't
threw it out of
long after
bounds?
this throw that the weight and
Motherfucker
overall
good.
shape of the
Motherfucker
javelin
nice,
was
ain't he?
adjusted to prevent throwers from unintentionally spearing someone on the other side of the stadium. Now, I'm almost
Damn.
positive that a three-point shot
I know them
will
niggas
never
was
kill
scared
anyone.
as shit.
At least I think. But they may just provide a broken advantage to the game itself. Morey believes that the three-pointer is so valuable that he built an entire roster around it in the 2018 Rockets.
Dude, that Rockets team
this
was
team
so
was an incredible
nice.
success, winning 65 games while attempting far more threes in a single season than any other team in league history.
Was crazy.
This team truly lived by the three,
and
they
would
eventually die by the three. Because what Daryl failed to consider was that basketball isn't math.
It's not. But they missed 27 in a row, bro. That's a foul, I'm not gonna lie. They are just brick. They look like Westbrook wasn't on the team, man. They look like Westbrook shooting out there. Westbrook out there shooting. At some point, you gotta say, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to the basket. I'm about to dunk on a nigga or something, bro. You missed 27 3-pointers in a row. At some point, you gotta realize what I'm doing is not working. It's not fucking working.
27 missed threes in a row in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals.
27 in a row is fucking
shooting
wild.
Performance in NBA history. 1 in 186,141. The chances of the Rockets missing 27 threes in a row, according to this NBA fan. Miraculously, the
Wait, hold on. Go back. What does this say?
It's missing 27 threes in a row.
All right, the Rockets hit 36% of their threes in the 2018 season. The chances of a team with that 3-point percentage missing 27 in a row is 1 in 186, 141.
A row, according to this NBA fan.
Damn.
Miraculously, the Rockets only lost this game by 9 points. If they had just made a few of those threes, the Rockets would have moved on to the NBA Finals, and Daryl Morey's three-point
and lost to LeBron.
But they didn't, and Morey has yet to replicate this same level of success as a
strong
believer in the long ball.
Out.
So,
Move.
Is the three-pointer worth too many points? Does it actually provide a lopsided advantage to teams that shoot it well? Or is it a perfectly balanced mechanism of the game?
Bro, it's balanced, bro.
Objectively, it's not broken at all. At the NBA level, the three-pointer is so well balanced that it is nearly impossible to exploit. In fact, the three-point shot is such a well-tuned ingredient in basketball that it virtually has no advantage at all compared to other shots.
Thank you. That's why I fuck with Jimmy, bro.
The average number of
See, that's why I fuck with Jimmy High Roller, bro, because he understands, bro. He's one of us. He's really one of us.
Game for NBA teams has climbed from just under 15 to 35. And yet, over that same time span, the average three-point percentage league-wide virtually hasn't changed at all. Players and teams are attempting far more threes, but somehow, despite all the attention put on the long ball, NBA players haven't gotten much better at shooting them. When I saw these numbers for the first time, it blew my mind. How can a shot that's become so well executed at the NBA level, a shot that most players now possess within their bag, find its way into the basket just as often as it did decades ago? It's almost as if the people who introduced the three-point shot to the game of basketball knew exactly where to put the three-point line for it to be advantageous enough to attempt, but not too advantageous to create an imbalance in the game.
Yeah.
But they didn't. When Abe Saperstein and Ray Meyer first introduced the three-point line to the American Basketball League in 1960, they didn't crunch any numbers to find out the right distance for it. They didn't have any data to point them to the right spot on the court. They literally just picked a spot. According to Saperstein's son, they just arbitrarily drew lines. Just two Hall of Fame coaches getting together and saying, where would we like to see the line? The distance they chose for their game-changing shot? 25 feet. Now,
motherfuckers just said, fuck it, we ball. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with it. I fuck with it. Nigga said, fuck it, we ball.
To see the absolutely atrocious shooting numbers from 1960s basketball players attempting three-pointers nearly 2 feet further out than the current NBA three-point line.
Because motherfuckers ain't having jumpers back in the day, bro.
This shot served almost no purpose, so the league decided to move the shot in to just 23 feet. But as far as the evolution of the three-point line, that's about it. The only time the NBA ever adjusted it was for 3 seasons in the 90s, but that change didn't last long, and it would eventually move back to where it stands today. The men that created the three-point line had no idea where the game would go over the next 60 years. They had never even seen a three-pointer in their life, and yet somehow they managed to narrow down the perfect distance for the shots almost immediately. But how? How did these two men know within inches of where the perfect distance for a three-pointer should be? Any closer to the basket, and it would have broken the game. Those 3 seasons in the 90s is proof of that. But any further out, and the shot wouldn't even be worth taking. It's perfect, and the numbers back this up. Here's the average three-point percentage league-wide over the last 20 seasons. As we spoke about before, the NBA as a whole pretty much hasn't got...
I don't think the league will ever get to 40%, bro. Because you got players like Westbrook out there hitting the side of the backboard and shit, and hitting the top of the rim, and hitting the top of the glass. Like, bro, Westbrook, bro. I hope you see this, bro. Get better, bro. Get on your shit, man. You've been in the league for too long to be ass, bro.
Any better or any worse at shooting the 3-ball. But you know what NBA players and teams have gotten better at?
What?
2-pointers. Yes. Over the last 20 seasons, NBA players have gotten significantly better at shooting shots within the 3-point arc. Now, at a certain point,
so we gonna make the 2-point shot 1 point?
With enough efficiency, then the 2-point shot will surpass the value of the 3-point shot. And for the first time in 40 years, we have reached that threshold. See, the moment a team becomes a good 3-point shooting team, everything begins to open up for them. Including, ironically, every other shot besides the 3-pointer. When an opposing team knows you can knock down threes, they are forced to play up on you even when you're 25 feet out. This creates space inside the 3-point line. This creates more opportunities for off-ball movement, and the defense becomes so focused on stopping the 3 that they fail to stop or even recognize all other points of attack. What Daryl Morey and other analysts forgot to include in their future projections of the 3-pointer was how other teams would react to it. Sure. In theory, if you can build a team that is extremely efficient from 3, then you can just keep chucking up 3s all game long, and you should end up on top. In theory, if a team gets more points per shot attempt from 3-pointers than they do 2-pointers, then there's virtually no point in attempting any shot outside of 3-pointers and the occasional easy layup. But basketball's not a theory. Once other teams realize your team can shoot well from outside, they'll just make adjustments. They'll pick you up from 30 feet.
Once you get picked up outside, then you go inside, man. It's simple.
And their priority becomes stopping 3-pointers at all costs. And this is precisely why the 3-point shot is perfectly balanced. If a team isn't efficient at shooting 3s, then 3-pointers won't provide an unfair advantage. If a team is good at shooting 3s, they end up getting easier shots from everywhere else on the court, which results in that team being less reliant on the 3-ball. Regardless of how you get there, it really all boils down to one thing.
My boy Dorian,
shot value. For the majority of the last 30 years, the value of an average NBA shot has virtually remained exactly the same. 1, as in 1 point per shot attempt. And throughout the last 3 decades, the average 3-point attempt did yield teams a more productive result. 3-pointers on average being worth 1.03 points per shot attempt, and 2-pointers being worth 0.96 points per shot attempt. This is why many people believe the 3-point shot provided an unfair advantage. It is simply too valuable in comparison to 2-pointers. And this was the case for a very long time. That is, until the secret got out, teams made adjustments, and this happened. For the first time since the 3-pointer was introduced to the NBA, the 2-point shot has become just as valuable as the 3-pointer. And this season, for the first time ever, the 2-point shot actually became more valuable than the 3-point shot. Somehow, as the league was in a mad scramble to see who could sink the most 3s, they inadvertently turned 2-pointers into the most valuable shots in basketball. But let's say we nerfed the 3-point shots.
Don't nerf
made it worth just 2.5 points. Well, then this graph would look like this. And instead of being a weapon teams can use to balance their offense and keep the defense honest, the 3-point shot virtually becomes obsolete.
So what I'm hearing is keep it the same. You fucking weirdos that's out there trying to change the 3-point shot, fuck you, man.
The risk of taking it would far outweigh the reward. Abe Saperstein and Ray Meyer, they were right all along. They may not have known it at the time, but they were right. This arbitrarily length shot added to the game 70 years after its inception is somehow right where it needs to be, and worth exactly as many points as it should be.
I hope we're not ugly.
Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
W video, man. W video, my boy Jimmy High Roller with the motherfucking banger. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how y'all feel about that, bro. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Hold on, let me change this shit because this shit was fucking with my screen. But let me know how y'all feel about that, bro. It's your boy Quan, and I'm out.